Okay, guys, there's this slightly uncomfortable but brutally effective rule about people. The moment you make it too obvious that you like someone or value them or can't do without them, something is in the dynamic quietly breaks. Not dramatically, and not instantly, just slowly. Respect starts leaking, and it's strange, but human psychology doesn't reward constant warmth the way we think it should. You would expect that being kind and available, open, basically a good person, would lock people in. But what actually happens, they relax a little too much and they stop trying. They assume you'll always be there anyway. In other words, the more you're available, the less they start to appreciate you. And the moment someone becomes so-called guaranteed, their value drops in the other person's mind. Not consciously, nobody sits there thinking, okay, great, I can disrespect this person now. It's subtler than that, and it's more there is no tension left, no risk, no possibility of loss, and without that there is no edge. That's why a bit of a distance, just a touch, is so powerful. Not a coldness for the sake of ego, not manipulation, but a quiet signal. I'm here because I choose to be, not because I need to be. And that changes everything. In other words, you're showing that you're available, but it's temporarily. And people start paying more attention, and they start valuing your time differently. They become a little more careful, a little more invested, because now there's something at stakes, you. So in other words, ironically, the more you don't give a fuck, the more people start to care. And here's the twist that most people don't like hearing. Even if you truly admire someone, you're better off not showing it too openly. And yeah, it sounds backwards. You meet someone you genuinely respect, maybe even look up to, and your instincts is to show it fully, compliment, attention, enthusiasm, all of it. And ironically, that's exactly what can weaken your position. And another psychologist or philosopher, Schopenhauer, had this sharp, almost like a cynical take on it. He said, if you really think highly of someone, hide it like it's something illegal. Harsh wording, but psychologically precise. Because once people feel they're fully secured your admiration, they stop working for you. In other words, what's the point to take care of you, to spend their time, if they already got your attention? In other words, attention is the currency, and you have to spend it wisely. And like, humans, whether we admit it or not, wired to value what requires effort. In other words, it's not about like being a douchebag, but like make people to put a little bit effort to make you pay attention, even though you like that person. Even a dog, he says, would tolerate being treated too kindly, not because kindness is bad, but because excess of it removes structure, removes like a balance. And if that applies to animals, imagine how much more like complex it gets with people. So what does like this look like in real life? And it's not about playing games or like acting like a distant for no reason. It's about not over delivering your presence. In other words, you're not saying all what you got in your mind. To not be predictable. Never let them know your next move. Not like a floating people with attention, not making yourself emotionally predictable, like you're warm but like not always available. You respectful but not overly impressed. You're present but not permanent. And that tiny bit, in other words, you're giving what you want to give, but not 100%. That's not 100% makes people think, maybe I should, I don't know, give more effort. So they start to work on their side. Because again, otherwise, they start to appreciate you less. That tiny bit of like unpredictability, that smells sense that you could walk away and be fine. Like that's what keeps the connection alive, because here's a deeper layer. People don't just want comfort; they want value, and like value almost always comes with a hint of scarcity. Yeah, you gotta be like a dollar, you're available, but not that much.